Hey everyone, tonight we're diving into something both beautiful and terrifying. The lives of medieval noblewomen who seemingly had everything: beauty, wealth, castles, silk gowns. Yet many of them descended into what their contemporaries called madness, forgotten in towers, whispering to walls, some starving themselves to death. Before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is for you. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. Congratulations, you've just woken up as a beautiful noblewoman in the year 1348. The good news? You're not covered in fleas like the peasants. The bad news? Your entire existence is a gilded cage, and the bars are closing in. Your bed is actual feathers, not straw. Your chambers have glass windows, not cloth. You wear silk instead of rough wool. But here's the thing about medieval nobility that no one mentions. The prettier you were, the more valuable you became. And the more valuable you were, the less human you got to be. Your property, just expensive property. Your beauty isn't a blessing. It's a currency your father will spend. And you're about to learn exactly what that costs. You wake in your tower chamber to the sound of chapel bells. Your room smells of lavender and rosewater, masking the underlying stench of the castle moat below. Your lady's maid is already there, waiting. She's been waiting since before dawn, because disturbing your sleep would mean a beating. You're 14 years old, but in noble terms, you're already a woman. You've been bleeding for 2 years, which means you're ready for market. Your father has been negotiating your marriage since you were 7. Beauty raised your price. Your face, symmetrical and pale as fresh cream, has been preserved like an investment, never allowed in the sun, never permitted to run or play. You've been teared like a hothouse flower, delicate and useless for anything except display. Your morning routine begins with the undressing. Layers upon layers of fabric must be removed. The linen chemise you slept in, stained with sweat, despite the cold castle air. Your body hasn't been properly washed in months, because water is dangerous for ladies of breeding. Instead, you're rubbed down with dry cloths and perfumed with crushed flowers. Your skin is pale to the point of translucence, blue veins visible beneath, which the court considers beautiful. It means you've never worked, never been outside without a veil, never lived really. They powder your face with lead white, the same substance that's slowly poisoning your brain. But beauty requires sacrifice, and your family's fortune requires your beauty remain marketable. Your hair is your crowning glory, literally. It reaches past your waist, never cut since birth. It takes 3 servants an hour to brush, braid, and pin it into elaborate configurations. The weight of it gives you constant headaches, but complaining would be unseemly. A beautiful woman doesn't complain. She endures. Your scalp bleeds sometimes from the tight braiding, little spots of red seeping through the gold. Your ladies pretend not to notice. You pretend it doesn't hurt. This is the first performance of your day, and there will be many more. Every gesture, every word, every expression must be carefully controlled. Beautiful noblewomen don't show emotion. They're living decorations, breathing artwork, silent unless spoken to. The dressing begins. First, the chemise, so fine it's nearly transparent. Then the kirtle, fitted so tightly you can barely breathe. The corset isn't invented yet, but the lacing serves the same purpose. Compressed ribs, displaced organs, beauty through suffocation. Next comes the surcoat, heavy with embroidery and jewels, each gem sewn on by servants whose eyes went bad from the detailed work. Then the sleeves, separate pieces that attach with pins. They trail past your hands, making any practical movement impossible. But you're not meant to move practically. You're meant to glide, to float, to seem barely human at all. The headdress comes last. Depending on fashion, it might be a towering hennin or an elaborate veil held by a metal framework. Either way, it weighs several pounds and must be perfectly balanced, or your neck will spasm. You look in your mirror, a luxury worth more than a peasant's lifetime earnings. The reflection shows a perfect medieval beauty, pale, ethereal, almost ghostly. You look like a painting, which is exactly the point. You're not supposed to look real. Real women have flaws, expressions, thoughts. You're supposed to be above all that. Below your window, you hear the castle coming alive. Knights training in the courtyard, servants hauling water, merchants arriving with goods. A whole world of movement and purpose. But not for you. Your purpose is to sit, to be seen, to be beautiful. Your days are measured in the spaces between meals, between prayers, between the moments when you're displayed before visiting nobles, like a prize mare. Breakfast is brought to your chambers. You'll eat alone because beautiful women don't eat in public. It's considered unseemly to see a lady actually consuming food. You're supposed to exist on air and holy thoughts. The meal is delicate, nothing that requires real chewing. Soft bread soaked in almond milk, honeyed fruits that dissolve on your tongue. Watered wine, never ale like the common people drink. You eat tiny bites, careful not to disturb your facial powder. One wrong move, and the lead white will crack, revealing the actual skin beneath. Your ladies watch every bite, ready to report if you eat too much or too little. Both are signs of moral failing. Too much means you're giving in to base desires. Too little means you're prideful, thinking yourself above mortal needs. After breakfast, you're led to the solar, the chamber where noble ladies spend their days. It's the highest room in the tower, with the best light for needlework. You'll spend the next 6 hours here, embroidering altar cloths or tapestries. Your fingers will bleed from the needle pricks, but you'll continue. Beautiful ladies don't acknowledge pain. The other women here are like you. Daughters, wives, widows, all trapped in silk and expectation. You're not allowed to speak unless the eldest woman grants permission. When you do speak, it must be about acceptable topics. Religion, the weather, perhaps a sanitized bit of court gossip. Never politics, never anything that suggests you have opinions about the world beyond these walls. Your education, such as it was, ended years ago. You can read enough to follow along with prayers. You can write enough to sign your name on the marriage contract. You'll never be allowed to read. You know a little arithmetic, enough to manage household accounts someday. But too much knowledge is dangerous for women. It makes them difficult, unmarriageable. Your mother told you this when you asked for more books. Beautiful women don't need thoughts, she said. They need to be thought about. So you embroider the same patterns over and over. Your mind, sharp as any scholar's, slowly dulling from disuse. Sometimes you catch yourself counting stitches obsessively, losing hours to the repetitive motion. It's a kind of madness, but a quiet one. The marriage negotiations have intensified. Your father entertains suitors weekly now. You're paraded before them like a prize horse, told to walk slowly so they can assess your gait, your posture, your breeding potential. They examine your teeth like your livestock. They ask about your monthly bleeding, whether it's regular, whether you're likely to produce sons. Your beauty has attracted a wealthy offer from a lord 3 times your age. His last wife died in childbirth. The one before that from melancholy. But he has lands your father wants, so the deal is nearly done. You'll meet him once before the wedding, chaperoned, of course. You'll curtsy, perhaps speak 3 words, and then you'll belong to him. Your beauty bought this marriage, but beauty fades. And when it does, what will you have left? By noon, you're feeling lightheaded. The lead powder is giving you headaches again. The tight lacing makes it hard to breathe. The weight of your headdress has triggered another migraine, but you sit perfectly still in the solar, needle moving in precise stitches. Your lady's maid notices you swaying and discreetly offers you wine mixed with poppy syrup. It's the only medicine available for noble ladies. Wine for the pain, poppy for the sadness, prayer for everything else. You drink it gratefully, feeling the familiar numbing warmth spread through your limbs. Half the noble ladies in the castle are taking poppy daily now. It's the only way to endure the beautiful prison you've been born into. The combination of lead poisoning, opium, and isolation is creating something strange in your mind. Colors seem too bright sometimes. Voices echo oddly, but no one talks about it. Lunch is another performance. You're brought to the great hall where you sit at the high table, visible to everyone, but speaking to no one. You pick at your food, taking tiny bites of capon and sugared violets. Real eating happens later, in private, when you're so hungry you feel faint. But here, in public, you must appear to exist beyond earthly needs. The men feast on venison and drink themselves stupid. The women nibble and smile. Your future husband is here, watching you. He's brought you a gift, a necklace worth a fortune. It's heavy around your throat, the gold and gems cutting into your collarbones. But you smile, bow your head in gratitude, say nothing. Beautiful women are grateful for any attention, any gift, any cage, dressed up as kindness. After lunch, you're returned to the solar for more embroidery. Your fingers are raw now, bleeding in several places. The white silk you're working on is spotted with red, but you'll embroider roses over the stains. Turn the blood into beauty. It's what you do with everything. The headaches are getting worse. The lead powder has been building up in your system for years. Your gums are starting to turn blue, though no one mentions it. Sometimes your hands shake uncontrollably. Sometimes you forget where you are, finding yourself standing at the window with no memory of walking there. The other ladies whisper that you're touched by God, having visions. Really, you're being slowly poisoned by your own beauty routine. But the alternative is worse. Without beauty, you're nothing. Without beauty, you're unmarriageable, unwanted, possibly locked away in a convent. The afternoon brings visitors. Your betrothed wants to inspect his investment again. You're dressed in your finest gown, face freshly powdered, lips stained with crushed berries. You stand before him while he circles you, examining you from every angle. He lifts your chin with one finger, turns your face side to side, checks your teeth again, comments on your birthing hips. You stand perfectly still, perfectly silent. Inside, something is screaming, but beautiful women don't scream. They smile. He asks you to sing. Your voice, trained since childhood, rises clear and pure. You sing a song about a maiden waiting for her true love, though you know true love is a luxury you'll never afford. He nods approval. You'll make a good ornament for his castle, a pretty thing to display when important guests arrive. As evening approaches, you're prepared for dinner. Your hair is rebraided, your face repowdered, your dress changed to something even more elaborate. The routine is exhausting, but beauty is a full-time occupation. You're lightheaded from hunger and the poppy wine, but you must appear serene, ethereal, barely tethered to the mortal world. The great hall is full tonight. Your engagement will be announced formally. You sit at the high table, your future husband beside you. He smells of dogs and old meat. His hand, when he takes yours for the announcement, is rough and possessive. The hall erupts in celebration. Your father is pleased with the alliance. Your mother nods approval. You smile, the perfect smile you've practiced in the mirror. Inside, something breaks. Quietly, invisibly, but definitely broken. That night, you're returned to your chambers. Your maids undress you carefully, removing each layer of your beautiful prison. The lead powder is washed away, revealing skin that's becoming grey underneath. The elaborate hair is loosened, falling in waves that will be braided again tomorrow. You lie in your feather bed, staring at the canopy above. Moonlight filters through your glass windows, a luxury that makes your room cold as a tomb. You think about the peasant girls you sometimes see from your window. They work in the fields, their faces brown from sun, their bodies strong from labor. They laugh loudly, move freely, marry men they might actually know. They're not beautiful by noble standards, but they're alive in a way you'll never be. You're a perfect medieval beauty, and it's killing you slowly. Sleep doesn't come easily. The poppy wine has worn off, leaving you with a pounding headache and racing thoughts. Tomorrow you'll wake and do it all again. The powdering, the dressing, the sitting, the silence. Day after day until your wedding. Then the same routine in a different castle. You'll bear children if you survive the births. You'll grow old if the lead doesn't kill you first. You'll go mad. Probably, like so many beautiful noble women before you. They'll say it's female hysteria, too much luxury, weak constitution. They won't mention the lead poisoning, the isolation, the suffocating expectations. You're 14 years old, and your life is already over. You were born beautiful in medieval times, and that beauty was your curse, disguised as a blessing. Outside your window, a servant girl laughs, free, ugly, and alive. Morning comes again. The bells, the maids, the routine that never changes. But today, something feels different. Your hands shake more than usual as they dress you. The lead powder seems heavier on your skin. When you look in the mirror, you see your mother's face, pale, perfect, and completely empty. She went mad at 30, speaking to invisible angels, refusing food until she wasted away. They said it was God calling her home. Really, it was lead poisoning and despair. You're following her path, step by careful step. The headdress goes on heavier than yesterday. Your neck already aches, but you smile. That practiced smile that never reaches your eyes. Today there will be more negotiations about your dowry, more inspections, more performances of perfect femininity. You are a beautiful medieval woman, and beauty is eating you alive from the inside out. The days blur together in the solar. Embroidery, silence, poppy wine for the headaches that never stop. Your wedding is set for next month. You'll be 15 by then, a good age for childbearing, they say. Your monthly bleeding has become irregular, probably from the lead and the restricted eating. But no one must know. Fertility issues could break the engagement. So you lie. Tell your mother everything is normal. She nods, not meeting your eyes. She knows you're lying. She lied too, at your age. Every beautiful woman in this castle is lying about something. The pain they're in, the thoughts they have, the slow poisoning they endure for the sake of pale skin and male approval. You're all complicit in your own destruction. But what choice do you have? Your betrothed visits again. This time, he brings his mother, a severe woman who examines you like livestock she's considering purchasing. She checks your teeth, your hair, your fingernails. Asks about your needlework, your prayers, your obedience. You answer in whispers, eyes downcast. Beautiful women don't make eye contact with their superiors. She declares you acceptable, barely. You'll need training, she says. Her son's last wife was too willful, too prone to opinions. That won't be tolerated. You'll learn your place quickly or suffer the consequences. Your future mother-in-law has cold eyes and steady hands, the kind of woman who survived this life by becoming harder than the stones of the castle. You'll become like her, probably, if you survive long enough. The wedding preparations begin. Your trousseau is being assembled. Dozens of chemises, gowns, veils, all embroidered by servants going blind from the detailed work. Your wedding dress alone costs more than a village makes in a year. It's white silk, symbol of virginity, though everyone knows virginity is just another currency in noble marriages. You'll be sewn into it on your wedding day. It will take 4 hours to dress you. The train is so long you won't be able to walk without 6 ladies carrying it. The headdress is a masterpiece of goldwork and gems that will leave you unable to turn your head. You'll be the perfect medieval bride. Beautiful, silent, and completely trapped in fabric and expectation. Your hands shake constantly now. The lead has built up enough that your nervous system is failing. You're fitted for the dress weekly, cinched tighter each time. Beautiful brides are ethereally thin. You're already lightheaded from the restricted eating, but they want you smaller still. Your ribs are visible through your chemise. Your hip bones jut out sharply, but your face must remain full, powdered smooth, lips painted red as blood. The contradiction is impossible, but noble beauty is built on impossible contradictions. Be pure, but fertile. Be silent, but charming. Be visible, but never truly seen. The seamstresses whisper when they think you can't hear. About the Lord's last wife, how she started talking to shadows, stopped eating entirely, threw herself from the tower window on a feast day. They found her in the moat, white dress floating like a lily pad, but they dressed her in blue for the burial, said it was illness. Madness is too shameful for beautiful women. Your education in wifely duties intensifies. Not the physical aspects. Those will be explained hastily on your wedding night, by a mortified older woman. But the social requirements, how to run a household you'll never actually control, how to host feasts where you won't eat, how to be decorative but not distracting, how to produce heirs while maintaining your beauty. The contradictions multiply daily. Your future mother-in-law teaches you through criticism. Your posture is wrong. Your voice is too loud. Your smile too wide, too small, too something. You practice walking with a book balanced on your head while she strikes your shoulders with a rod when you slouch. Beauty requires discipline, she says, and discipline requires pain. The lead poisoning is affecting your mind more noticeably now. Sometimes you lose hours, finding yourself in rooms with no memory of walking there. The poppy wine doesn't help anymore, just makes the disconnection worse. But you can't stop taking it. The headaches are unbearable without it. Your gums are blue-black now, carefully hidden with lip paint. Your hair has started falling out in clumps, covered with false pieces and elaborate headdresses. The servants pretend not to notice when they find you talking to the walls, having conversations with people who aren't there. It's starting, the madness that takes so many beautiful noblewomen. But the wedding must happen. Your family's alliance depends on it. So they increase the poppy, add belladonna for the shaking, mercury for the melancholy, poisoning you further to keep you functional, long enough to seal the deal. 3 weeks before the wedding, you collapse during Mass. Your legs simply stop working, the lead finally affecting your muscles too severely to ignore. They carry you to your chambers, call it female hysteria. The priest is brought to pray over you. The physician bleeds you, because surely you have too much blood. That must be the problem. You're conscious, but unable to speak clearly. The words come out jumbled, reversed. The physician declares you touched by angels, having holy visions. Your father is concerned only about the wedding. Can you still stand for the ceremony? Can you still say the vows? That's all that matters. Your mother sits by your bedside, her own hands shaking from her own lead poisoning. She tells you to be strong, just survive the wedding. After that, your husband's problem. You recover enough to stand, though your legs feel like water. The wedding will proceed as planned. Your dress is altered to hold you up. Metal stays sewn into the bodice like armor. You practice your vows until you can say them, even through the confusion that clouds your mind. I will. Just 2 words. You can manage 2 words. The feast is planned. The guests invited. Your beauty will be displayed one last time as a maiden before you become property of another house. They repowder your face so thick you can't feel your skin. The lead seeps through your pores, more poison for your failing system. But you look perfect, pale as death, ethereal as a ghost. The perfect medieval bride. Your hands shake so badly now. They have to tie them with ribbon to keep them still during the ceremony. The night before your wedding, you sit at your window, staring at the moon. Tomorrow, you'll be married to a stranger, moved to his castle, expected to produce heirs while maintaining your poisonous beauty routines. You'll likely die in childbirth like his last wife, or go mad like your mother, or jump from a tower like the wife before that. The beautiful noblewomen in your family never live past 30. Lead, childbirth, madness, or suicide. Those are your options. You think about running, but where would you go? A noblewoman alone would be caught immediately. You think about refusing, but that would mean disgrace, possibly being locked in a convent. At least, As a wife, you'll have some illusion of status, some pretense of purpose, even if that purpose is just to be beautiful and breed until you die. Your wedding dawn arrives grey and drizzling. A bad omen, the servants whisper, but the ceremony proceeds. You're woken at dawn to begin the preparation. First, a bath in rose water and milk, your last as a maiden. The maids scrub you until your skin is raw, then oil you with expensive perfumes. Every inch of body hair is removed with hot wax and tweezers. Beauty is hairlessness, smoothness, the appearance of prepubescence, even though you're meant to breed. The contradictions don't matter anymore. Nothing matters except getting through this day. They paint your entire body with lead white, not just your face. You'll be inspected tonight, and every inch must be perfect. The poison seeps through every pore. Your vision blurs, but you say nothing. Beautiful brides don't complain. The dressing takes 4 hours as predicted. Layer after layer of silk and jewels. The dress weighs nearly as much as you do. When they finally place the headdress, your neck immediately spasms. But you hold position. You've been trained for this. They lead you to the chapel. 6 ladies, carrying your train. 2 more supporting your elbows, because your legs shake with every step. Your future husband waits at the altar. He looks pleased with his purchase. You're still beautiful, still valuable, still breathing. That's all he required. The priest speaks in Latin you don't understand. You speak your 2 words when prompted. The ring is placed on your finger, heavy gold that makes your poisoned hands ache. You're married, 15 years old, and already dying, but married. The alliance is sealed. Your purpose fulfilled. The feast is a blur of faces, none of them actually seeing you. They see the dress, the jewels, the symbol of alliance between houses. You sit at the high table, unable to eat because your stomach rebels against everything. The lead has destroyed your digestion. You sip wine, smile when looked at, say nothing unless directly asked. Your husband gets drunk, makes crude jokes about the bedding ceremony. Your new mother-in-law watches you with cold calculation, already planning how to mold you into the perfect ornament for her son's castle. The music is too loud. The hall is too bright. Your head pounds with each heartbeat, but you sit perfectly still, perfectly beautiful, the ideal medieval bride. Inside, whatever was left of you finishes dying. The ceremony is her final trial. Every gesture is observed. Every rule of custom must be followed. She feels fragile, pale, and uncertain. They send her to her new home, and the celebration continues outside. The day ends, the voices fade, and she is left in silence, her thoughts scattered like dust. This is her life now. She must stay graceful, follow tradition, and bring pride to her family. Each day repeats the same rituals, the white powders, the heavy gowns, the endless effort to appear perfect. Slowly, these traditions take her strength, her youth, her joy, just like her mother and many before her. She is still so young, yet already fading into the pattern of history. The months blur together in your new castle, the routine identical to your childhood home. Wake, powder, dress, sit, embroider, undress, submit, sleep. Your husband visits your bed twice weekly, whether you're bleeding or not. When your monthly blood doesn't come, everyone celebrates. You're pregnant. The lead poisoning makes miscarriage likely, but no one mentions that. You're dressed in special gowns that display your growing belly, proof of fertility, of purpose, of value. The morning sickness is violent, made worse by the lead. You vomit blood sometimes, carefully hidden from everyone. Beautiful pregnant ladies glow with maternal joy. They don't projectile vomit or faint from poisoning. You increase the poppy wine to cope. Add more belladonna for the shaking. Your mind fractures a little more each day. By your second trimester, you're seeing things constantly. Shadows that move wrong. Faces in the tapestries. Your dead mother standing in corners. The lead has destroyed so much of your nervous system that reality and hallucination blur together. Your ladies whisper about holy visions. Your mother-in-law watches you more carefully. She's seen this before. The beautiful ones always go mad. It's just a matter of when and how dramatically. You're moved to a special chamber for your confinement, locked away from the world to protect the precious air you carry. No visitors, except midwives and priests. The isolation makes the madness worse. You have long conversations with the shadows now. They're more real than the people who occasionally check on you. The birth is agony. 36 hours of labor, with nothing but wine and prayer for the pain. The lead has weakened your muscles so much you can barely push. They consider cutting the baby out, but that means certain death for you. Your husband is consulted. He decides to wait. You're young. He can remarry if needed, but the baby must survive. So you labor on, hallucinating from pain and poison. Your mother appears, young and beautiful, as she was before the madness took her. She holds your hand, tells you it will be over soon, one way or another. The midwives see you talking to empty air, make the sign of the cross. The baby finally comes, a boy, small but alive. You hemorrhage badly but survive. Barely. They take the baby immediately. You'll see him only for formal presentations. Beautiful mothers don't actually raise their children. Recovery is slow. The blood loss combined with lead poisoning leaves you bedridden for months. Your milk doesn't come in properly, probably from the poison, so a wet nurse is brought. You watch from your window as she holds your son, feeds him, comforts him. He doesn't know you exist. You're just the beautiful vessel that produced him. Your purpose is complete. Now you just need to survive long enough to produce more heirs. Your husband visits once to confirm you're alive, then returns to his mistresses. You don't mind. His attention was never anything but painful. You're 16 now, a mother, a mad woman, a ghost haunting your own life. The shadows are more real than ever. Your mother never leaves your side now. Though she's been dead 2 years, your days dissolve into sameness. Poppy wine for breakfast, lead powder for beauty. Sitting in windows, talking to people only you can see. Your ladies are frightened of you now. You laugh at nothing, cry at nothing, sometimes forget to blink for hours. The lead has destroyed so much of your brain that time moves strangely. Sometimes you're 6 again, before the poisoning started. Sometimes you're ancient, watching your own funeral from above. Your mother-in-law declares you unfit for public appearances. You're confined to your chambers permanently, a beautiful mad woman hidden away like a shameful secret. Your husband has already started negotiating for a new wife. You're not dead yet, but close enough. He needs more heirs, sane ones, from a woman who won't embarrass him with her madness. You stop eating almost entirely. Food tastes like ash and metal. The lead has destroyed your sense of taste and smell. Your body is shutting down system by system. Your hair is almost entirely gone now, hidden under caps and veils. Your teeth are loose, gums black, despite the paint covering them. Your hands shake so badly you can't hold a needle. No more embroidery. Your last actual activity taken away. You sit at your window, watching the real world below. Servants living their harsh, but real lives. You envy them. They might die of plague or starvation, but at least they lived first. You've never lived. You've only performed living, and badly at that. Your son doesn't recognize you when they bring him for visits. He cries when you try to touch him with your shaking, skeletal hands. Winter comes early and harsh. Your chambers are freezing despite the fires. Your body can't regulate temperature anymore. You're either burning with fever or shaking with cold, no in between. The hallucinations are constant now. The room is full of dead noblewomen, all beautiful, all mad, all poisoned by lead and loneliness. They tell you their stories, jumped from towers, starved to death, died in childbirth, went catatonic, and never spoke again. You're joining their ranks, another beautiful casualty of medieval nobility. Your mother-in-law stops visiting entirely. Your husband has moved his new betrothed into the castle. She's 13, beautiful, terrified. You see yourself in her pale face and perfect posture. The cycle beginning again. You want to warn her, but you can't form coherent sentences anymore. Spring arrives, but you barely notice. You're 17 years old and dying. The lead has finally reached critical mass in your system. Your organs are failing one by one. The physician declares it God's will. Female troubles, weak constitution, too much luxury. Never mentions the lead, the isolation, the systematic poisoning that created your madness. You drift in and out of consciousness. Sometimes you're back in your father's castle, young and unburdened. Sometimes you're nowhere, floating in blessed emptiness. Your mother is always there, waiting. She says it's almost time. The pain will stop soon. The performance finally over. You're too weak to be afraid. Death seems like mercy after this life. At least corpses don't have to be beautiful. Your final days blur together. They've stopped forcing food, stopped the poppy wine, even stopped the lead powder. No point in maintaining beauty on a corpse to be. You lie in your bed, bones visible through translucent skin. Your son is brought one last time. He's walking now, talking. Calls the wet nurse mama. You're just the scary skeleton lady in the tower. Your husband has married his new bride. You hear the celebration from your chambers. Another beautiful girl beginning her journey toward madness. The priest comes to give last rites. You can't speak, to confess. What would you confess anyway? Being born beautiful? Being systematically poisoned? Being driven mad by isolation and the lead? These aren't sins. They're just the fate of beautiful medieval women. On a Thursday morning in May, you die, 17 years old. Official cause, childbed fever. Though you gave birth over a year ago. Really. Lead poisoning, isolation, systematic destruction of body and mind. Your body is dressed in your wedding gown. One last time. The one that trapped you, that held you up when you couldn't stand. They powder your face thick with lead one final time. In death, you must still be beautiful. The funeral is small. Your husband is busy with his new wife. Your son won't remember you. Your father sends condolences but doesn't attend. Beautiful dead women are common, not worth disrupting schedules. You're buried in the family crypt, another pretty ghost, in a long line of pretty ghosts. Your portrait is hung in the gallery. Forever 15, forever beautiful, forever frozen in the moment before the madness became visible. Your husband's new wife starts showing signs within 6 months. Headaches, shaking hands, talking to shadows. The lead works fast on young bodies. She'll last maybe 5 years if she's strong. Your mother-in-law trains her just as she trained you. Stand straight, speak softly, smile always, die quietly. The cycle continues unbroken. Beautiful girls poisoned into madness, one after another, generation after generation. No one questions it. It's simply the way things are. Beautiful noble women go mad. It must be their weak female constitution. Never mind the lead. Never mind the isolation. Never mind the systematic destruction of their minds and bodies. That's just the price of beauty in medieval times. And there's always another beautiful girl to take the dead one's place. Years later, a servant finds your diary hidden in your chambers. Pages of increasingly incoherent writing, starting clear and rational, ending in symbols and sketches of shadows. One entry, near the end, still legible. The walls are eating me. Mother says it's almost over. I can't remember being real. The servant can't read, uses the pages for kindling. Your words burn away, like everything else about you that was real. Only the portrait remains. That perfect, poisoned portrait. Forever beautiful, forever young, forever a warning no one heeds. Other girls stand before it, admiring your beauty, not knowing they're looking at their own future. Mad, dead, replaced, forgotten, except as a cautionary tale no one actually learns from. A decade passes. Your son grows up never knowing you existed beyond a portrait. He marries a beautiful girl, starts the cycle again. Your husband is on his 4th wife now. The second jumped from the tower. The third died in childbirth. The 4th is showing signs, headaches, shaking, shadows. The physician prescribes more lead for her complexion, more poppy for her nerves, more isolation for her protection. She's 15, just like you were. Sometimes servants swear they see you in the windows. A pale figure in white, warning the new brides. But no one listens to servants, and no one listens to ghosts. The beautiful girls keep coming, keep poisoning themselves, keep going mad, keep dying. The machine of noble marriage grinding through bodies like yours. The castle itself seems poisoned now. 3 mad wives in a row have left their mark. The newer girls say the chambers are haunted. They hear crying at night, see shadows moving wrong, find long blonde hairs that belong to no one living. Your mother-in-law, ancient now but still alive, still training new brides, dismisses it all. Feminine hysteria, weak constitution, too much imagination. She never mentions how many beautiful girls she's watched deteriorate, how many she's dressed for burial, how many she's replaced. She's the only one who survives, hard and cold as the castle stones. She wasn't beautiful enough to be worth poisoning. That ugliness saved her life. Let her watch others die from beauty instead. In the archives, a monk records the genealogy. Your name appears once. Married, 1348. Died, 1350. 1 son. That's all. Your entire existence reduced to 3 facts. No mention of your mind, your thoughts, your slow destruction. Just another noble bride who fulfilled her purpose and died. The monk doesn't question why so many noble wives die young. It's not his place. He just records the dates, moves on to the next entry. Another girl married too young. Another mysterious death. Another beautiful casualty. The pattern is obvious if anyone looked, but no one looks. Beautiful dead girls are just part of the medieval landscape, as common as plague, as accepted as prayer. Modern historians will find these records, wonder about the pattern. So many noble wives, dead between 15 and 25. They'll theorize. Childbirth, plague, general medieval mortality. Some will get closer, lead poisoning from cosmetics. But they won't capture the full truth. The isolation, the performance, the slow strangling of self that came with noble female beauty. How you were raised like hothouse flowers, decorative and useless. How your beauty was both your value and your destruction. How you were poisoned inside and out, body and mind, until madness was the only escape. They'll call it tragic, but tragedy implies something could have gone differently. This was systematic, intentional. The price of beauty paid in madness and death. Your story repeats across Europe. In France, beautiful duchesses talking to walls. In England, noble ladies starving themselves to transparency. In Spain, young brides throwing themselves from towers rather than face another day of beautiful imprisonment. All using lead powder, all drinking poppy wine, all slowly going mad from poisoning and imprisonment. The symptoms are identical, the progression predictable. Yet no one stops it. The machine needs beautiful brides. If they go mad and die, there are always more. Farmers' daughters elevated for their faces. Merchants' girls sold for alliance. Each one thinking they're lucky. Each one walking into the same beautiful trap. The same poisoned paradise that destroyed you. The Renaissance will come. They'll paint beautiful women, celebrate their madness as divine inspiration. Ophelia floating in her river. Lady Macbeth washing invisible blood. Beautiful mad women become artistic inspiration. No one asks why so many beautiful women went mad. It's just accepted, like weather. Of course, beautiful women lose their minds. Too much beauty for mortal frames to hold. Too much emotion for female bodies to contain. Never mentioning the lead, the mercury, the arsenic, the poisonous price of pale skin, the deadly cost of noble beauty. Your story becomes myth, warning, art, everything except what it really was. Murder in slow motion, sanctioned by society, repeated endlessly. Back in your castle, another girl is being dressed for her wedding. 15 years old, beautiful, already taking lead powder for her complexion, already drinking poppy wine for her nerves, already learning to be silent, still, purely decorative. Her hands shake slightly as they place the headdress, the first sign. She'll be dead by 20, mad long before that. But today she's beautiful. Today she's valuable. Today she's beginning her journey toward your same fate. And somewhere in the shadows, you watch another ghost in a castle full of ghosts, all beautiful, all mad, all destroyed by the same poison, disguised as privilege. The cycle continues. It will for centuries. Beautiful girls sacrificed to beauty itself. The truth about medieval beauty was simple. It was designed to kill you. Every aspect of noble female beauty was toxic. Lead for pale skin, mercury for blemishes, arsenic for glossy hair, belladonna to dilate pupils, isolation to preserve purity, restriction to maintain delicacy, silence to ensure compliance. You weren't just poisoned by cosmetics. You were poisoned by the entire concept of what beauty meant. Fragility over strength, decoration over substance, silence over voice. The madness that took you wasn't weakness. It was the inevitable result of systematic poisoning, physical and psychological. Your brain deteriorating from lead, your mind fracturing from isolation, your soul dying from the endless performance of perfect femininity. The servants knew. They always know. They watched beautiful girls arrive, deteriorate, die, be replaced. They whispered about the cursed chambers, the haunted towers, the madness that came with marriage. But they also knew speaking up meant dismissal, or worse. So they watched silently as another girl powdered her face with poison. Another bride was laced into suffocation. Another beauty began talking to shadows. They burned sage in the chambers, left offerings for the ghosts, prayed for the living girls who didn't yet know they were dying. Some servants tried to warn them, carefully, indirectly. Stories about previous wives, mentions of strange illnesses. But beautiful girls never listen. They think they'll be different, special, loved enough to survive. Your ghost is restless. You watch your son grow, marry, have daughters. Beautiful daughters. The cycle starting again. You want to scream warnings, but have no voice. Want to shake them awake, but have no hands. You can only watch as they're dressed in silk and poison, trained in silence and submission, told their beauty is their worth. You see the first signs: headaches, trembling, staring at nothing. You know what comes next. The hallucinations, the inability to eat, the gradual disconnection from reality, then death, usually before 25. Another beautiful ghost to join your ranks. The castle fills with you. Beautiful dead girls haunting beautiful dying girls. None of you able to break the cycle. If you could speak, you'd tell them, run. Run from the castles and the silk. Run from the lead powder and arranged marriages. Run from the beauty that kills. Better to be ugly and alive. Better to be a servant or a nun or a peasant. Anything but a beautiful noble wife. But they wouldn't listen, even if you could speak. Beauty is a trap that looks like a privilege. By the time you realize it's killing you, you're too poisoned to escape, too mad to be believed, too invested in the performance to stop. So you died beautiful, and they'll die beautiful, and their daughters will die beautiful. Generation after generation of girls poisoned by the same toxic ideal of feminine perfection. The worst part was knowing. Even through the madness, some part of you knew the lead was poison, knew the isolation was destroying your mind, knew the whole system was designed to consume you. But knowing didn't help. You couldn't refuse the powder without being called vain. Couldn't speak freely without being called hysterical. Couldn't leave without being called mad. Every escape route was blocked by another expectation, another requirement of beauty. So you participated in your own destruction, powdered your own face with poison, laced yourself into suffocation, smiled while dying inside. The perfect medieval woman, beautiful, silent, and doomed. The madness was almost mercy. At least, when reality fractured, the pain lessened. History will sanitize your story. Call it female hysteria. Weak constitution. Too much luxury. They won't mention the systematic poisoning. Won't connect the dots between beauty standards and early death. Won't acknowledge that medieval noble women were essentially murdered by fashion. Your madness will be romanticized, painted in soft watercolors, written into poems about fragile femininity. No one will say they were poisoned, they were isolated, they were driven insane by toxic beauty standards. That truth is too ugly. So instead, you become another beautiful tragedy, another mad angel, another cautionary tale that warns about everything except the actual danger. The real warning should be, beauty kills, literally, specifically, repeatedly. In the convents, some women escaped. Not the beauty, they were still noble, but the marriage, the childbirth, the full dose of poison. Nuns still powdered their faces for important visitors, still maintained noble beauty standards. But they could read, write, think, have conversations beyond weather and prayer. Some went mad anyway. The lead doesn't discriminate. But others survived, recorded, remembered. They wrote about the married women who visited, the shaken hands, the vacant stares, the gradual deterioration. They knew something was wrong, but couldn't name it, couldn't fight it, could only document the pattern of beautiful women losing their minds. Their records survive. Dry Latin descriptions of wet, messy tragedies. Your husband remarries within the year. His fifth wife is 12. Skinnier, paler, more beautiful than the last 4. The lead powder is thicker now, mixed with new poisons for better coverage. She's already forgetting words, already seeing shadows move. The progression is faster with each generation. More poison, younger brides, quicker madness. Your mother-in-law finally dies, replaced by another woman who survived by being too ugly to poison properly. The new matron trains the child bride in the same deadly beauty. Stand straight, speak softly, powder thickly, die quietly. Your ghost watches from the walls. Another beautiful girl beginning her journey toward madness. You want to save her, but can't. No one can. The machine of noble beauty grinds on. The child bride lasts 3 years. Dies at 15 in childbirth. Mercury poisoning, weakening her past survival. The baby dies too. Your husband, old now, takes a 6th wife. This one rebellious, refusing powder at first. They force her, hold her down and paint her face with lead. Drug her wine with poppy until she's compliant. Break her systematically until she performs beauty correctly. She goes mad faster than any previous wife. Talks to you directly, calling you sister. Knows your name, though. No one told her. Says the walls whisper warnings. She's not wrong. Every stone in this castle is soaked with beautiful female suffering. She throws herself from your old window, wearing your wedding dress they'd saved. Dies on impact. Finally free. Your son has daughters now. 3 of them. All beautiful. You watch him hire tutors to make them accomplished. Watch their mother teach them silence. Watch the lead powder start young, just a little at first. For their complexion, for their futures, for their value in the marriage market. You see your story starting again, tripled. 3 beautiful girls being slowly poisoned into madness. The eldest already has tremors. The middle one stares at nothing for hours. The youngest, only 8, asks why the pretty powder makes her head hurt. No one answers. They increase the dose instead. Make her paler, more ethereal, more valuable. You're watching your granddaughters walk your path. Beautiful, poisoned, doomed. The eldest granddaughter marries at 14. You attend the wedding, invisible, watching from shadows. She looks exactly like you did. Pale, trembling, perfect. Her husband is older, richer, crueler than yours was. The lead has advanced, new formulas for whiter white. She'll last maybe 2 years. You follow her to her new castle. Watch the cycle begin again. The isolation, the increased poisoning, the poppy wine for pain that amplifies disconnection. Within 6 months, she's talking to you, sees you clearly, knows you're her grandfather's first wife, asks if it hurt to die. You can't answer, but she understands anyway. Says she's not afraid. Says at least ghosts don't have to be beautiful. She's right. Death freed you from beauty. Too late. But still, the stories spread wrong, become fairy tales, beautiful princesses in towers, waiting for rescue, passive, lovely, pure. No one mentions the lead poisoning, the systematic madness, the way beauty was weaponized against its wearers. The fairy tales make it seem romantic. The handsome prince climbing the tower, the beautiful princess grateful for rescue. Reality. Drugged, poisoned girls too mad to know they needed saving. Princes who were just next husbands. Towers that were prisons. The happily ever after that lasted maybe 5 years before madness and death. But fairy tales need beautiful victims. Need the aesthetic of female suffering. So your reality becomes their fiction. Sanitized, romanticized, made safe for children who don't know they're hearing horror stories. The physicians never admit fault. Keep prescribing lead for complexion, mercury for mood, arsenic for vigor. When women die, they blame female weakness, wandering wombs, hysterical temperaments, too much thinking, too little prayer. Never the poison they prescribed, never the isolation they enforced, never the system they maintained. Some physicians notice patterns, see that beautiful women die young, but they conclude beauty itself is dangerous. Too much perfection for mortal frames. They recommend uglier wives for longevity, never questioning what creates beauty, what maintains it, what it costs. Your death, and hundreds like it, teach them nothing. They keep poisoning beautiful girls, keep calling it medicine, keep acting surprised when madness follows. Your middle granddaughter refuses marriage, says she'll become a nun instead. The family is horrified. Convents are for ugly daughters. She's too beautiful to waste on God. But she insists. Says she's seen what happens to beautiful wives. Says she'd rather serve Christ than go mad. They force her toward marriage anyway. Increase her lead powder. Add mercury to her wine. Try to break her will with poison and isolation. She escapes. Actually runs. Steals servant clothes and disappears one night. They find her at a convent 50 miles away. Shaved head, lead powder scrubbed off, hands already steady again. She survives. The only one in generations. Lives to old age. Recording stories of beautiful mad women, including yours. The youngest granddaughter watches everything. Sees her eldest sister married and mad. Sees her middle sister escape. Sees the pattern everyone pretends doesn't exist. She starts refusing the powder at 10. They force her, but she washes it off secretly. Pretends to drink the poppy wine, but pours it out. Acts beautiful and compliant while planning. She knows she can't escape like her sister. They watch her too closely now, so she plays along, performs perfect beauty while avoiding the worst poisons. Marries strategically, someone weak she can control. Has children, but limits exposure. Survives by being smart about being beautiful. Dies at 40, ancient for a beautiful noblewoman. Still mad by the end. You can't avoid all the poison. But less mad. Functional mad. The castle archives grow thick with beautiful dead women. Your name appears repeatedly in margins. Died like the first wife. Showed signs like the first wife. Mad as the first wife. You've become measurement for female madness, the standard by which other poisoned women are judged. Historians will find these notes, wonder about the first wife who became synonymous with beautiful insanity. They'll look for your records, find almost nothing, just marriage, son, death. The rest erased or never recorded. Beautiful mad women don't get biographies. They get cautionary mentions, footnotes in other people's stories. You exist now only as reference point for other tragedies. In Italy, France, England, the same story plays out. Beautiful noble girls poisoned into madness. Each country has its own preferred poisons. Venice loves arsenic. Paris prefers mercury. London adds antimony to the mix, but the result is identical. Beautiful young brides becoming beautiful mad ghosts. The convents fill with their sisters, the ones too ugly or smart to marry. The cemeteries fill with their bodies, buried in white, like child angels. The castles fill with their ghosts, warning no one heeds. The paintings fill with their images, forever young and beautiful and doomed. No one connects the international pattern. Each dead girl is individual tragedy, not systematic slaughter. The Renaissance brings new poisons, disguised as progress. Ceruse, a lead-based white, even more toxic than old formulas. Vermilion, mercury sulfide, for perfect red lips. Sublimate of mercury for glowing skin that literally dissolves flesh. The beautiful get more beautiful and die faster. Teenage wives last months, not years. The madness accelerates. Hallucinations start immediately. Girls arrive at their weddings already seeing ghosts, already trembling, already half gone. The portraits painted on their wedding days often become memorial portraits within the year. Artists learn to work fast, capture beauty before it dissolves into madness. Your ghost multiplies exponentially. Every castle has dozens like you now. Beautiful poisoned spirits haunting beautiful poisoned girls. Your great-granddaughter finds your diary, the one the servant couldn't read, hidden in walls during renovation. She can read, secretly educated by her escaped nun-aunt. Your words, even fragmented by madness, reveal truth. The deliberate poisoning, the known toxicity, the way everyone participated in pretending beauty wasn't murder. She shares it with other noble daughters. They begin to question. Some refuse powder, get beaten. Some run, get caught. Some comply but document, write their own records of systematic poisoning, hidden in walls, under floors, sewn into dresses, waiting for future women to find, to understand, to maybe finally break the cycle. Your words become revolution. Slowly, quietly, one beautiful girl at a time, learning she's being murdered. The Enlightenment scientists discover lead is poison. Officially, undeniably. The beautiful women were right about the madness source. But beauty standards don't change. They just shift poisons. Arsenic becomes fashionable. Eating it for translucent skin. Belladonna for bright eyes that also cause blindness. Tapeworms for thinness. Corsets that crush organs. The mechanisms change, but the message remains. Beauty requires suffering. Beauty demands sacrifice. Beauty is worth dying for. Your story continues in new forms. Different poisons, same result. Beautiful women destroyed by beauty itself. The ghost count grows. Every generation adding new, beautiful casualties to the eternal collection. Modern archaeologists find your bones, test them, lead levels that should have killed you instantly. How did you survive even 17 years? They don't understand the slow, systematic poisoning. The way bodies adapt until they don't. The way beauty requirements override survival instincts. Your skeleton shows multiple breaks, healed wrong, falls from fainting, beatings for non-compliance. The physical archaeology of female beauty standards. Your teeth, analyzed, reveal malnutrition despite noble diet. The restricted eating, the constant purging, the wine and poppy diet that replaced food. Your bones tell the story your diary couldn't. The physical reality of being a beautiful medieval woman, tortured into aesthetic perfection, murdered by fashion, driven mad by noble beauty. The fairy tales persist. Beautiful princesses, handsome princes, happily ever after. No one tells little girls the princesses were poisoned. That beauty was toxic. That madness was inevitable. That princes were just replacement husbands for dead wives. That happily ever after meant dying young, but looking good doing it. The stories sanitize female suffering into romantic aspiration. Your reality becomes their fiction, made safe and sweet. Little girls dream of being princesses. Don't know they're dreaming of being poisoned, of being isolated, of going beautifully, perfectly mad. The fairy tales are horror stories with better marketing. Your ghost watches each generation fall for the same beautiful lies. In museums, your portrait hangs, forever 15, forever beautiful, forever about to be destroyed. Tourists admire your pale complexion. Don't know it's lead. Admire your delicate frame. Don't know it's starvation. Admire your serene expression. Don't know it's resignation. The placard mentions you died young. Doesn't mention murdered by beauty standards. Your aesthetic object, even in death. Admired for the same beauty that killed you. The museum sells postcards of your portrait. Beautiful medieval lady. They don't mention beautiful medieval victim. Beautiful medieval madwoman. Beautiful medieval ghost. Your image perpetuates the lie that destroyed you. Beauty as aspiration instead of weapon. Your husband's line continues. Hundreds of descendants who don't know your name. Don't know they exist because you were poisoned into compliance long enough to produce an heir. Your son's line thrived on your suffering. Built wealth on your dowry. Gained power through your family alliance. Your death was investment matured. Your madness acceptable casualty. They display your portrait proudly. Anonymous first wife. Beautiful ancestor. Don't mention the shaking hands painted still. The mad eyes painted serene. The poisoned skin painted perfect. Your family history sanitized. Origin story without the horror. The beautiful beginning they don't examine closely. Your ghost attached to that portrait. Warning viewers who don't speak ghost. Other women find your story. Piece together fragments. Your diary. The servant gossip recorded in margins. The physician notes about mysterious female madness. They reconstruct your destruction. Understand the systematic nature. The deliberate poisoning. The known consequences ignored. You become case study in historical female suffering, evidence of systematic oppression through beauty standards. Your personal tragedy becomes political statement. Your individual madness becomes collective recognition. Women understanding they're not crazy. The system is. The beauty standards are. The poisoning is literal, not metaphorical. Your death becomes teaching tool. Your madness becomes clarity for others. The youngest granddaughter, who survived through strategy, writes your story, hides it in convent walls, where her escaped sister lives. Centuries later, renovation finds it. Your name finally attached to your suffering. The full story told by someone who watched it happen, who learned from it, who survived because of it. She details the poisons, the doses, the progression, the way everyone knew, but pretended ignorance, how physicians prescribed poison, how mothers enforced it, how husbands benefited from it, how the whole system required beautiful women to be destroyed by beauty. Her record makes you real, not cautionary tale, not fairy princess. Real woman, murdered by fashion. Real person driven mad by beauty standards. Your ghost reads over shoulders as historians discover your truth. Feel vindicated and furious simultaneously. They know now. They understand. But it continues. Different forms, same destruction. Modern, beautiful women, poisoned by different standards, starved into thinness, surgically altered, chemically enhanced, socially isolated, professionally limited. The poisons evolved, but the principle remains. Beauty as weapon, against its wearers. Beauty as prison, beauty as madness. Your medieval suffering echoes in modern eating disorders. Your lead poisoning mirrors modern cosmetic toxicity. Your isolation reflects modern social media performance. Different centuries, same systematic destruction of beautiful women. The castle where you died still stands. Tourist destination now. Ghost tours mention beautiful mad wives. Your composite character. All the poisoned brides blended into one story. The tour guides don't mention lead. Don't explain systematic poisoning. Talk about female hysteria, weak constitutions, too much luxury. The old lies persist, even in historical record. Your real story too ugly for tourism, too political for gift shops, too true for comfortable consumption. So, you remain beautiful mystery, romantic tragedy, gothic aesthetic, never acknowledged as murder victim, never recognized as systematically destroyed. Your ghost screams truth. Tourists don't hear, can't hear, won't hear over the beautiful lies. If you could change one thing, it wouldn't be your beauty. Beauty was just excuse for destruction. You'd change the knowing. Everyone knew lead was poison. Knew isolation caused madness. Knew beautiful girls were dying, and participated anyway. Parents who poisoned daughters for marriage value. Husbands who preferred beautiful corpses to ugly wives. Physicians who prescribed known toxins. Priests who blessed poisoned brides. The whole society complicit in beautiful female destruction. That's what haunts most, not your individual tragedy. The collective agreement to destroy beautiful women. The systematic nature. The known consequences ignored. The profits made from your poisoning, your dowry, your heir, your portrait. All purchased with your sanity and life. Modern brides still powder their faces white, still restrict eating before weddings, still perform perfect beauty that damages body and mind. Your ghost attends every wedding, sees the same patterns, the isolation of beauty, the performance requirements, the systematic destruction disguised as aspiration. Different poisons, same intentions. Make women decorative, make them silent, make them compliant, make them mad, then replace them. The cycle you died in continues, modified, but not ended. Your medieval tragedy plays out in modern forms. Beautiful women still being destroyed by beauty, still going mad from the performance, still dying young from the standards. Your diary pages, the few that survive, get translated, published, read by women who recognize themselves. The fragmenting thoughts, the desperate attempts to maintain performance while dying inside. The gradual disconnection from reality that comes from being treated as object. Your madness speaks across centuries, makes sense to modern, beautiful women trapped in different but similar cages. Your words, even poisoned and fragmented, carry truth. Beauty kills, literally, specifically, repeatedly, has always killed. will always kill until the system changes. Your diary becomes evidence, proof that beautiful women aren't naturally mad. They're driven mad, poisoned mad, isolated mad, performed to madness. The lead white cosmetic gets banned. Finally, centuries after your death, but only because cheaper alternatives exist, not because anyone cared about poisoned women. The beautiful dead just got too numerous, too obvious, too hard to ignore. The ban doesn't mention victims like you, doesn't acknowledge centuries of known poisoning, doesn't apologize for systematic murder, just quietly replaces one poison with another. Your death contributed to data that no one wanted to collect. Statistics no one wanted to acknowledge. Patterns no one wanted to see. Beautiful women, dying young from beauty itself. The ban is victory you don't get credit for. Change that required thousands of beautiful casualties. Your son's descendants include doctors. Some research historical lead poisoning. Find your generation ground zero for cosmetic toxicity. The levels in noble women's bones, astronomical. How any survived to reproduce is miracle. They write papers about you. Anonymous medieval noblewoman. Case study in cosmetic poisoning. Don't mention you were their ancestor. Don't acknowledge family complicity. Don't recognize inherited guilt. Your story becomes their academic achievement. Your suffering, their publication credit. Your madness, their research data. Even in academic death, you're objectified. Beautiful victim, useful for papers. Never real woman. Never full person. Never acknowledged ancestor. Just beautiful bones full of lead. Data point in historical toxicology. The servant girls who watched you deteriorate left their own records. Kitchen gossip, preserved in account books. Laundry lists that mention washing blood from your dress after you clawed your own skin off. Stable boys who saw you talking to horses like they were people. Your madness through working class eyes. They saw clearly what nobility refused to acknowledge. The poisoning, the isolation, the systematic destruction. Their records, discovered centuries later, tell your story truthfully, without romanticization, without nobility's careful editing. Just working people, documenting upper-class horror they witnessed daily. Your ghost feels more seen by servants' gossip than family portraits. Other ghosts join you, not just medieval anymore. Renaissance beauties killed by mercury, Victorian ladies destroyed by arsenic, modern girls starved into non-existence, all beautiful, all destroyed by beauty standards, all ghosting the places where beauty killed them. Castles, mansions, hospitals, clinics. The locations change, but the hauntings remain. Beautiful dead women, warning beautiful dying women who can't hear them, won't hear them, too invested in the beauty that's killing them. Your medieval ghost has infinite modern company. The beautiful dead accumulate faster now. Mass production of beauty standards. Industrial scale female destruction. Your poisoning was artisanal compared to modern efficiency. If someone had asked you at 15, standing in your wedding dress, painted with lead, if you'd rather be ugly and free, what would you have said? The question never occurred. Beauty wasn't choice, but fate. Born beautiful meant living beautifully, meant dying beautifully. No alternatives existed in your world. Ugly noblewomen became nuns or spinsters, also isolated, also controlled, also destroyed, just differently. There was no winning, only different forms of losing. Your beauty was curse, but ugliness, wouldn't have been salvation. The system destroyed all women. Beauty just determined the method. Poison for the pretty, convents for the plain, servitude for the poor. All roads led to female destruction. Your ghost witnesses fashion changes, watches beauty standards shift, sees poisons evolve, lead to mercury, to arsenic, to starvation, to surgery. The technology advances, but intention remains. Control through beauty, compliance through poisoning, destruction through standards impossible to meet safely. Each generation thinks they're different, more enlightened, less toxic. But you see the patterns. The same systematic destruction in new forms. The same beautiful girls dying from beauty. The same collective denial. The same replacement system. The same ghosts accumulating. Your medieval suffering was just early version of endless program. Beautiful female destruction. Version 1.0. The teenage bride replacing you lasts 2 years. Dies at 15, giving birth to a stillborn daughter. Lead poisoning, preventing successful pregnancy. Your husband, now elderly, takes a 7th wife, 12 years old, already shaken from the lead, already seeing shadows. The castle servants place bets on how long she'll last. 6 months wins. She dies in 5, throwing herself from your old window, wearing your wedding dress like the 6th wife. The dress becomes suicide gown. Passed between doomed brides. Your husband finally dies. Chokes on meat at feast, celebrating his 8th engagement. The castle passes to your son. The beautiful bride's graves outnumber the family plots. Your ghost counts them, remembers them. The only one who does. Your son orders your portrait cleaned, centuries of smoke and grime removed. Underneath, the painting reveals what others missed. The artist captured truth. Your eyes unfocused, your hands subtly trembling, your skin grey beneath the white, your smile forced and fragmenting. The lead poisoning already visible to careful observers. The madness already beginning. But people see what they expect. Beautiful young bride. Not poisoned child. Not dying girl. Not future ghost. The cleaned portrait is more horrifying for its truth. The artist saw, recorded, said nothing. Complicit in his accuracy. Your ghost appreciates his honesty. Even if centuries late, a young art student studies your portrait, researches your life, finds fragments, diary pages, servant records, physician notes, pieces together your destruction, creates installation art. Your portraits surrounded by lead powder, poppy flowers, shattered mirrors, the beauty products that killed you displayed like murder weapons, which they were. The exhibition opens. Critics call it heavy-handed, unsubtle, feminist propaganda. Your ghost laughs. They still don't get it. The subtlety was the problem. The propaganda was beauty itself. Your death wasn't metaphorical. The poisoning wasn't symbolic. It was literal lead entering bloodstream. Literal mercury destroying neurons. Literal isolation fracturing mind. The art student understands. Makes your murder visible. Finally, the castle becomes museum. Your chambers preserved as historical bedroom. Tourists photograph your bed, your mirror, your window, the place you suffered invisibly. The museum doesn't mention the lead, doesn't explain the systematic poisoning, presents noble beauty as historical curiosity, not systematic murder. Your ghost watches tourists admire the luxury. Don't see the prison, admire the fashion. Don't see the poison, admire the romance. Don't see the horror. The museum sells replicas, your jewelry, your dress, Your portrait, commodifying your suffering, selling your destruction as aesthetic. Your ghost screams truth no one hears. This was torture chamber, not princess room, murder scene, not love story. Your great-great-granddaughter becomes historian, specializes in medieval women, finds your complete story, all the fragments assembled, publishes book about systematic cosmetic poisoning, names you, tells your truth, uses your suffering to expose centuries of similar destruction. Your personal tragedy becomes historical evidence, proof of systematic female oppression through beauty standards. The book sells poorly, too depressing, too political, too true. But some read it, some understand, some recognize themselves in your madness. Your story becomes warning finally heeded by few, too few, but more than none. Your ghost feels something like peace, almost, not quite. The beautiful girl's still dying prevents full rest. Modern makeup tested on animals before humans. Your ghost wishes you'd had that protection. Rabbits' eyes destroyed by mascara, better than human eyes. Rats poisoned by lipstick, better than human poisoning. The animals die for beauty too, but quickly, mercifully, not slowly over years like you. The testing reveals toxins. Sometimes, regulations ban worst poisons, eventually. Usually after enough beautiful women die to matter statistically. You were early adopter, beta tester for beauty. Died so future beautiful women might die less, might die slower, might recognize the dying. Your ghost joins product testing, screams warnings at animals and humans alike. Neither species hears. Both die for beauty anyway. The youngest granddaughter's survival strategy gets studied. How she minimized poisoning while performing beauty. Becomes template for harm reduction. Not revolution, just slower destruction. Modern, beautiful women learn her tricks. Appear to comply while secretly resisting. Remove makeup quickly. Dilute the poisons. Take breaks from beauty. Small rebellions that extend life but don't save it. Your ghost sees the pattern. The accommodations. The negotiations with destruction. Better than your total poisoning, but still poisoning. And still destruction. Still beautiful women, dying from beauty, just taking longer. The system adapts, makes destruction sustainable. Your quick death was inefficient. Modern beauty kills slowly, keeps victims functional longer. Your wedding dress survives. Museum piece now. Silk turned brown with age. Lead powder embedded in fibers, still toxic centuries later. Conservators handle it with gloves, masks, hazmat protocols for wedding dress. The irony not lost on your ghost. More protection for empty dress than the living woman who wore it. The museum labels it beautiful medieval garment. Doesn't mention poison shroud. Doesn't acknowledge torture device. Prettifies your suffering into artifact. Your ghost hates that dress. Wishes it burned. But it remains. Evidence of crime no one calls crime. Beautiful dress that killed beautiful girl. Displayed like art instead of weapon. Scientists study lead migration in old bones, yours included. Track how poison moved through body, settled in organs, destroyed systems sequentially. Map your deterioration molecularly. Understand your madness chemically. Explain your death scientifically. Reduce your suffering to data. ppm measurements, toxicity tables, mortality statistics. Your lived experience of poisoning becomes abstract numbers. Your ghost watches them discuss your bones. Dispassionate, clinical, scientific. No acknowledgement of person, of teenager, of girl murdered by beauty standards. Just interesting historical toxicology case. You're educational, even in death. Teaching through your destroyed body. Posthumous professor of how beauty kills. Your husband's family maintains genealogy. You appear as footnote. First wife, died 1350. Mother of heir. Nothing else recorded. Your entire existence compressed into function. Wife, mother, dead. The family tree grows from your branch, but doesn't name you properly. Just first wife, like placeholder. Your ghost watches descendants research ancestry. Skip over you quickly. More interested in the husband who had 8 wives, the son who built the fortune, the grandsons who gained titles. You're just reproductive stepping stone. Necessary, but uninteresting. Your suffering irrelevant to family history. Your madness, embarrassing detail, omitted. Your beauty mentioned only as explanation for good breeding. Genetic contribution to pretty descendants. The church where you married still stands. Your ghost haunts it too. Watches other beautiful girls married to strangers. Same vows. Same terror masked as joy. Same lid-powdered faces. Different centuries. Similar poisons. The priest's words haven't changed. Love, honor, obey. Till death. Death coming faster for beautiful wives. The church records list your marriage date, not your death. Marriages matter. Deaths are just endings. Your ghost stands where you stood, 15 and shaking, already poisoned, already knowing something was wrong, but not what. The altar feels like executioner's block. Was executioner's block? Just slower, more beautiful, more socially acceptable. The church blessed your murder. Called it sacrament. Modern brides photograph themselves at your window. The castle's most romantic spot, where 3 beautiful wives jumped to their deaths. They don't know the history. Just see pretty stone arch, ancient glass, Instagram-worthy backdrop. Your ghost watches them pose. Sees the eating disorders, the surgical alterations, the chemical modifications. Different poisons, same purpose. Beauty that damages, performance that kills. They caption photos, living my princess dream. Don't know princess was nightmare. Princess was poisoned child. Princess was beautiful ghost waiting to happen. Your window frames their fantasy. Was your escape route blocked by glass and expectation? Now it's their selfie backdrop. The irony so heavy it could break the ancient stones. Your eldest granddaughter's husband remarries immediately. 14-year-old this time. The lead powder has improved. Whiter, smoother, more toxic. She's already hallucinating at the wedding. Sees you clearly. Asks why you're crying. No one else sees you. They increase her poppy wine. Call it wedding nerves. She dies within 6 months. Strangled by corset, or lead poisoning, or despair. The record's unclear. Your ghost was there, watched her stop breathing, saw the relief in her eyes. Death was escape from beauty, from performance, from slowly going mad in public, while everyone pretended not to notice. She joins your ghost congregation. Another beautiful dead girl, haunting beautiful dying girls. The family portraits hang in chronological order. You first, then 6 more wives, each younger, each paler, each dead sooner. The progression visible to anyone who looks. The increasing youth, the increasing pallor, the decreasing lifespans. But tour guides discuss the fashion, the jewelry, the artistic techniques, not the systematic murder displayed on walls. Your ghost points at each portrait, tries to tell their stories. 15 and poisoned, 13 and strangled, 16 and jumped, 14 and bled out, 12 and poisoned faster. 17 and starved. 11 and finally murdered the husband. That one they called Witch burned her. But she killed him first. Your ghost applauds her. Only one who fought back. The lead mine that supplied your powder still exists. Abandoned now. Toxic pit. Nothing grows there. Animals avoid it. Designated hazardous site. The powder that made you beautiful came from hell pit. Literal poison from literal toxic earth. Ground up, mixed with vinegar, painted on faces. The miners all died young. Coughing lead, the grinders died younger. Inhaling powder, the beautiful women died youngest. Absorbing through skin. Entire industry of death, making beauty from poison. Everyone knowing, everyone participating, everyone profiting except the beautified. Your ghost visits the mine, sees other ghosts, miners, grinders, beautiful women, all killed by same lead, different applications, same systematic murder. Your diary fragments get digitized, available online. Researchers worldwide study your deterioration, track your handwriting changes, from neat to shaky to incomprehensible. Map your cognitive decline through writing samples. Your madness becomes data visualization, graph of poisoning over time. Your last entries just symbols, spirals, scratches, the writing of someone whose brain is dying. Scientists find patterns, similar deterioration in other noble women's writings. Same progression, same timeline, same symbols, appearing as lead reaches critical mass. Your madness wasn't unique, was typical, standard, predictable. The only unique thing was someone saving your diary. Most beautiful women's final words burned. Too shameful, too revealing, too true. A documentary films in your castle. Medieval beauty secrets. They focus on fashion, recipes, techniques. Mention lead was dangerous. Don't dwell on it. Don't interview historians who study cosmetic poisoning. Don't show the portraits of dead girls. Make it seem glamorous, mysterious, romantic. Your ghost screams through filming. No one hears. They recreate your wedding. Actress in replica dress. Lead-free powder. Acting beautiful instead of dying. The recreation sanitizes reality. Makes murder look like romance. Your real wedding was funeral disguised as celebration. Your real dress was shroud you wore, living. Your real face was already showing the madness. But documentaries need beautiful stories, not beautiful murders. Your mother-in-law's diary found centuries later. She knew, wrote about watching wives deteriorate, documented symptoms, compared progression rates, kept notes like scientific experiment, which she was conducting, testing how much lead women could take, how long beauty could last before madness, how to maximize reproductive output before death. Her diary is horrifying, clinical, calculating. She knew exactly what she was doing, trained each bride to poison herself properly, adjusted doses based on constitution, timed pregnancies between poisoning phases. Your ghost reads over historians' shoulders. They call her product of her time. Not monster, not murderer, just medieval noblewoman, doing what was expected. Training beautiful girls to die beautifully. The Fashion Museum creates exhibit. Dangerous beauty, historical cosmetics, your portrait centerpiece, surrounded by lead powder samples, mercury vials, arsenic compounds, display cases of beautiful poisons. Museum goers fascinated. Take photos. Buy replica cosmetics with safe ingredients. Miss the point entirely. The danger wasn't just physical poison, was entire system requiring women to poison themselves. The exhibit treats it as historical curiosity, not ongoing pattern. Modern cosmetics, still toxic, just differently. More regulated, but not safe. Your ghost watches visitors buy modern makeup, full of chemicals, microplastics, hormone disruptors, different century, same pattern. Beautiful women, poisoning themselves for beauty. Just slower now. Your son has nightmares about you, writes about them, dreams of beautiful mother he never knew, pale, shaking, speaking backwards, calling his name from mirrors. He doesn't know. These aren't dreams, are memories, infant memories of dying mother, brain recording trauma before language. His nightmares are your reality breaking through. He medicates with wine, marries multiple beautiful women, watches them deteriorate, never connects the pattern, never questions why wives go mad, accepts it as natural, as his mother-in-law trained him. Beautiful women naturally go mad, not poisoned mad, not isolated mad, just mad because they're women. Beautiful women. The most dangerous combination. The castle's well tested. Lead levels still dangerous. Centuries of beautiful women washing poison into water supply. Whole household slowly poisoned. Servants' children born wrong. Livestock sick. Garden plants twisted. The beauty of noble women poisoned everything. Leaked into groundwater. Contaminated for generations. Your ghost understands now. Everyone was poisoned. Just beautiful women got highest doses, most direct application, fastest deterioration. But whole castle toxic, whole system contaminated, beauty as environmental disaster, ecological destruction starting with female faces, spreading outward, poisoning everything. The well gets capped, designated hazard, but damage done. Centuries of accumulated poison. Beautiful women were just first victims, most visible casualties. Your youngest granddaughter, who survived through strategy, writes manual, hidden in convent library, how to survive being beautiful. Practical advice for minimizing poison, recognizing symptoms, delaying madness, not preventing, just delaying. Because prevention impossible while performing beauty. Her manual found by archaeologists, published as historical curiosity. Actually, survival guide. Instructions for living through systematic poisoning. Techniques for maintaining sanity while being driven mad. Your ghost reads it, wishes you'd known. Wouldn't have saved you, but might have given you more time, more awareness, more agency in your own destruction. The manual becomes secret handbook, passed between beautiful women, updated each generation, new poisons, new strategies, same survival goal. The portrait artist's sketches discovered, practice drawings of you, show the progression. First sketch, beautiful child. Second, trembling bride. Third, pregnant and hollow-eyed. Fourth, madness visible. Fifth, barely human. He documented your destruction, saw it happening, said nothing, did nothing, just recorded, artist as witness, complicit witness. Your ghost studies his sketches, sees yourself disappearing, becoming less person, more symbol, more performance, more ghost while still living. The sketch is more honest than portrait. Show the murder happening. But he painted you beautiful anyway, froze you at moment before visible madness, gave your husband pretty picture, while you dissolved into poison and insanity. Modern psychiatrists diagnose you retrospectively. Schizophrenia, bipolar, borderline personality, everything except lead poisoning, even knowing about the lead. They add psychiatric labels, make your poisoning into mental illness, your systematic murder into female hysteria, your induced madness into inherent instability. the medical establishment still won't acknowledge. Beautiful women were poisoned. Not crazy. Made crazy. Made dead. The psychiatric labels accumulate. Shield truth. Your ghost watches them debate your diagnosis. Wants to scream, lead poisoning, isolation, systematic torture. But they prefer complex psychiatric explanations than simple murder, than acknowledged poisoning, than admitted complicity. Your replacement's portrait hangs beside yours, 13 years old, already shaking in the painting. Dies before 15th birthday. Her replacement, 12. Dies at 14. Next, 11. Dies at 13. The portraits become police lineup. Murder victims displayed chronologically. But everyone discusses the fashion evolution. Hennins getting taller. Dresses getting wider. Lead powder getting whiter. Girls getting younger. Deaths getting faster. Your ghost counts them. 23 beautiful wives in your family line. Average death age, 17. Average marriage age, 13. Average time between wedding and madness, 2 years. Average time between madness and death, 1 year. Statistics of systematic murder displayed on castle walls. The tourism board markets your castle. Romance of the Middle Ages, photos of your window, your chambers, your portrait, no mention of lead, of madness, of murder. Just beautiful princess fantasy. Your ghost appears in tourist photos sometimes, pale figure in background. They think it's camera error, double exposure, light artifact. Don't recognize beautiful dead woman, warning them about beauty, about poison, about the way romance narratives hide murder. Your castle is crime scene marketed as fairy tale. Your suffering commodified into tourist attraction. Your death sold as romantic story. The tourism board knows the real history, chooses prettier lie, more profitable lie. Your truth, bad for business. Your great-great-great-granddaughter becomes chemist, studies historical poisons, specializes in lead, traces your family line's lead exposure, finds it everywhere, in bones, in hair, in fabric, in walls, generational poisoning, inherited contamination. The beautiful women poisoned their children, through breast milk, through touch, through proximity. The lead passed down, accumulated, each generation starting more poisoned, ending worse. Your ghost watches her work, sees her understand the scope, the scale, the systematic nature. Not individual tragedies, mass poisoning event. Centuries long, thousands of victims, all for beauty, all for pale skin, all for aesthetic that required destruction. The church commissions new windows, removes medieval glass, tests it first. Lead levels beyond toxic. The windows you stared through, prayed through, contemplated jumping through, were themselves poisonous. Lead in glass, lead on skin, lead in air, lead in water, lead everywhere. The beautiful women weren't just poisoned, were living in poison, breathing poison, touching poison, surrounded by poison. Your ghost laughs, bitter, vindicated. Everything was killing you, not just cosmetics. Entire environment toxic, entire life poisonous. The new windows are safety glass, clear, non-toxic. The church calls them improvement. Your ghost misses the honesty of poisoned glass. At least it didn't pretend. To be safe, the wedding was carefully recorded by the priest, each detail noted in his official script. His words were precise and cold. Bride wept. Custom observed. Union confirmed. Your spirit reads over the scholar's shoulder centuries later and longs to add what the record omitted. She was young. She was frightened. She was unwell. She was fading. But the archives never include such truths. They preserve only procedure, never feeling. Only rules, never mercy. Only validation, never pain. The priest's records repeat themselves through generations. Same notes, same tears, same silence, all treated as normal. He called it tradition. He called it marriage. History called it sacred. No one called it what it truly was. The fashion history books mention you. Footnote about medieval beauty standards. Example of period aesthetics. Don't mention you died from those aesthetics, were murdered by those standards, were driven mad by that beauty. Fashion history sanitizes murder into style evolution. Your death becomes trend that passed, not systematic killing that continued, just different methods. Your ghost haunts fashion libraries, sees young designers studying historical beauty, taking inspiration, recreating looks, not understanding they're recreating torture, recreating poison, recreating systematic female destruction. Fashion history is murder history. Beauty evolution is trail of bodies, beautiful bodies, dead bodies, your body. Starting point for timeline of beautiful casualties. Your father's letters survive. Marriage negotiations. Discussing your beauty like merchant inventory. Your pale skin worth this much land. Your golden hair worth that much gold. Your birthing hips worth potential heirs. Itemized, commodified, sold. Never mentions you. Your thoughts, your desires, your fear. Just your market value. Your beauty as currency. Your body as transaction. The letters show the sale of child, of daughter, of person, made legal through marriage, made holy through church, made profitable through beauty. Your ghost reads them, sees yourself being sold, incrementally, negotiated, traded. Your father profited from your beauty, then from your death, inherited back your dowry. When you died without producing enough heirs, the convent where your middle granddaughter escaped preserves her writings. She documented everything, the lead poisoning symptoms, the isolation tactics, the systematic breaking of beautiful women. Her observations clinical, detailed, horrifying. She watched it happen to mother, sisters, cousins, friends, recorded the pattern, the progression, the inevitability. Her writing is evidence of known murder, of systematic destruction, of complicit society. The convent protects the documents, knows they're dangerous, prove centuries of murder, implicate church, state families, entire system guilty. Your ghost reads them, feels seen, validated, documented. Your suffering not unique, not individual, part of pattern. Systematic pattern, proven pattern. Modern laboratories recreate your lead powder. To study, to understand. Find it would kill within months at documented usage levels. You survived 17 years. Impossible. Unless you built tolerance, started young. Tiny doses increasing, body adapting until couldn't. The lead accumulated, stored in bones, in organs, in brain, released slowly, poisoning continuously. Your survival wasn't survival, was extended dying, slow motion murder. The lab rats exposed to same levels, die immediately, convulsing, bleeding. Your ghost watches them die, envies the speed, the mercy. Your death took 17 years of accumulation, of deterioration, of performed beauty while dying inside. Your son's wife finds your hidden things, behind wallstones, under floorboards, inside furniture, pieces of yourself you saved, a lock of hair before it fell out, a tooth that loosened, fingernails that detached, diary pages, letters never sent, evidence of disintegration, physical remnants of destruction. She doesn't know what they are, thinks they're relics, holy items, has them blessed, displayed. Your body parts become sacred objects, venerated, your destruction worshipped, your ghost horrified. Those were evidence of murder, of poisoning, of body falling apart, not relics, not holy, just pieces of poisoned girl, saved because you knew. Something was wrong, was killing you, wanted proof, left proof, misinterpreted as divine. The beauty industry still kills. Different poisons, same purpose. Your ghost sees the evolution. Lead to mercury, to arsenic, to radium, to asbestos, to formaldehyde. Each generation thinking they're safer. Each generation dying differently. But still dying. From beauty, from standards, from performance, from impossible requirements. Your medieval poisoning was crude, obvious. Modern poisoning subtle, disguised, regulated enough to seem safe, not safe. Just slower. The beautiful women still dying. From surgery, from starvation, from chemicals, from impossibility. Your ghost recognizes them, sees the same look, the same trembling, the same slow disconnection from reality. Different century, same murder. Your last coherent words were recorded. The mirrors are screaming. Everyone thought it was madness, but you were right. The mirrors were screaming, reflecting poisoned face, showing destruction, documenting murder. The mirrors knew. Showed truth no one wanted to see. Beautiful girl dying, being killed by beauty itself. The mirrors screamed your truth. No one listened. Thought you were mad, but also right. The mirrors still scream. In every castle, manor, museum, showing beautiful women destroying themselves. For beauty, for approval, for survival that requires not surviving. Your ghost hears all mirrors screaming, continuous chorus of warning, of witness, of beautiful women seeing themselves disappear. The wedding dress finally disintegrates. After centuries, falls apart, lead powder falling like snow, toxic snow, beautiful poisonous remnants. The museum carefully collects each thread, each bead, each poisoned fiber, for preservation, for study, for display. Your torture garment treated like treasure, preserved with more care than you were, protected more thoroughly, valued more highly. The dress outlasted you by centuries, still poisonous, still beautiful, still killing, just more slowly. Museum workers wear hazmat suits. To handle dress, you wore it against skin for hours, absorbing poison through every pore. The dress was weapon, disguised as garment. Your ghost watches it crumble, feels nothing. Just another beautiful thing that killed. Your story becomes academic paper. Lead poisoning in medieval nobility, a case study. Your case study. Not person, not teenager, not murdered girl. Just case, data point, example, statistical artifact. The paper wins awards, advances careers, generates funding. Your suffering becomes professional success. For others, never for you. Your ghost reads the paper, sees yourself reduced. 2 measurements, 2 symptoms, to academic language that obscures murder, makes it seem inevitable, natural, historical curiosity, not ongoing pattern, not systematic murder, not crime, just interesting case study of beautiful woman poisoned like thousands of others, millions of others. Still happening, still denied. The castle groundskeeper finds bones, small cemetery, unmarked graves, infant-sized. DNA testing reveals they're yours. Multiple miscarriages, never recorded, never mentioned. The lead causing fetal death, over and over. Your body trying to create life, while dying, while poisoned, while going mad. Each pregnancy hope, each miscarriage devastation. Hidden, shameful, your failure. Not the lead's fault, not the system's murder. Your inadequacy, your female weakness, your inability to produce heirs while being systematically poisoned. The bones get proper burial. Finally, your ghost attends, mourns children who never had chance, poisoned in womb, by beauty standards, by lead, by system that killed mother and babies alike. Modern pregnant women still avoid certain cosmetics. Know they're dangerous. For babies, not for themselves. Still poisoning themselves, just more carefully. Your ghost sees the pattern, the accommodation, the negotiation with poison, not the refusal, not the revolution, just slight modification, slower poisoning, more regulated destruction. The beauty standards still toxic, still requiring damage, still demanding suffering, just managed better. Your crude poisoning replaced by sophisticated poisoning, by calculated poisoning, by profitable poisoning. The beautiful women still dying, just productively, efficiently, quietly. Your screaming madness replaced by silent suffering, by internalized destruction, by normalized poison. The family genealogy gets updated, your name finally included. Full name, not just first wife. Someone researched, found records, baptism, marriage, death, put together fragments, made you real. In database, your ghost cries, finally named, after centuries, finally person, not function, not property, not footnote, name, identity, existence acknowledged, small victory, tiny recognition, but something, more than nothing, more than first wife, more than beautiful corpse. The genealogy still doesn't mention the poisoning, the madness, the murder. But your name exists. Proof you existed, were real, were person. Before beauty destroyed personhood. The castle gift shop sells replicas. Your jewelry, your dress, your cosmetics. Safe versions, lead-free, mercury-free, arsenic-free, but still selling the aesthetic of poisoned beauty, of female destruction, of systematic murder made pretty. Your ghost watches tourists by. Replica suffering, sanitized torture, beautified, murder. They wear your aesthetics, without understanding the price, the poison, the death required. Your beauty wasn't choice, was sentence, was execution. Performed slowly in public, while everyone applauded. The gift shop makes profit from your poisoning centuries later, still profiting from beautiful female destruction. Your husband's other wives' ghosts gather. Regular meetings in the tower, where 3 jumped. Compare deaths, poisoning rates, madness progression. Support group for murdered brides. You're the eldest, first wife, most deteriorated, most poisoned, most mad, but also first. Pioneer, involuntary pioneer. Of beautiful death, they look to you for understanding, for explanation, for reason. You have none. Just shared suffering, shared poisoning, shared systematic murder, disguised as marriage, as beauty, as noble life. The ghost congregation grows, every generation, adding new beautiful casualties, young girls, children really, poisoned into madness, into death, into ghosthood. The lead mine becomes Superfund site. Government cleanup costs millions to contain poison that made billions from beautiful women, from their suffering, from their deaths. The cleanup finds veins of pure lead, so toxic, plants die nearby, animals avoid, humans forbidden. This is what you painted, on face, daily, for years, pure poison, marketed as beauty, sold as enhancement, required for marriage, for value, for existence as beautiful woman, the mine gets capped, contained, designated permanent hazard. Your ghost visits, sees the source of your destruction, of countless destructions, ugly hole. That made beautiful death. Profitable death? Systematic death. Your portrait gets x-rayed for restoration, reveals underneath. Earlier portrait, you younger, before marriage, before lead, before poisoning, face rounder, skin darker, eyes clearer, alive. The artist painted over the living you, with dying you, with beautiful you, with poisoned you, covered reality, with performance, with marketed beauty, with acceptable femininity. Your ghost sees both versions, the real you, hidden, destroyed, painted over, with beautiful lie. That killed you, the restoration keeps. The poisoned version, the beautiful version, the profitable version. Your real face stays hidden, like your real self was hidden under lead, under expectation, under systematic murder. The university creates course, Gender and Death in Medieval Europe. Your story, Week 3, Between Virginity Cults and Witch Trials, Professor explains. Cultural context, historical perspective, sociological implications. Never says murder, never says poisoning, never says crime. Just context, just perspective, just implications. Your ghost attends lectures, screams corrections. No one hears. Students take notes about beauty standards, about gender roles, about medieval marriage. Not about murder, not about systematic poisoning, not about ongoing pattern. That continues, in different forms. The course gets good reviews. Students find it interesting. Historical curiosity, not warning, not pattern recognition, not connection to present. Your descendant takes DNA test, for fun, for ancestry, finds lead markers, generations old, inherited poisoning, genetic damage, from your cosmetics, passed down through centuries, still affecting, still harming, still killing slowly. The lead incorporated into genetic code, into family line, into biological inheritance. Your poisoning echoes through generations. Beautiful women passing poisoned genes to beautiful daughters who poison themselves more, who pass worse genes, who birth sicker children. The cycle genetic now, not just cultural, biological imperative. To destroy beauty, through beauty, your ghost understands the completeness of the system, poisoning future, through present, through past. The castle hosts weddings, modern brides, photographed where you suffered, celebrating where you died, dancing where you went mad. Your ghost watches, sees eating disorders, surgical modifications, chemical alterations, different poisons, same pressures, same impossible standards, same systematic destruction, disguised as celebration, as achievement, as happiest day. The brides starved for months to fit dresses, injected toxins for smooth faces, took pills for calm, for thin, for beautiful. Your ghost recognizes the look, the tremor, the disconnect. Beautiful women still being destroyed by beauty, still celebrated, still profitable, still dying. Your diary pages sell at auction. Rare medieval women's writing, valuable for incompleteness, for fragmentation, for madness visible. In deteriorating handwriting, collectors bid thousands for your suffering, for your deterioration, for evidence of destruction. Your most painful words become commodity, investment, prestigious acquisition. Your ghost watches, billionaire win, display pages, in climate-controlled case, better preserved than you were, living your madness, his conversation piece, your poisoning, his investment, your death, his profit, the cycle complete. Beautiful woman destroyed, for beauty remains valuable, for distraction, forever commodity, never person. Halloween costume stores sell medieval princess, cone hat, synthetic hair, polyester dress, lead-free makeup for children, to pretend, to be you, to be poisoned beauty, without poison, without danger, without understanding what they're impersonating. Systematic murder, decorated as princess, marketed to children, as aspiration, as fantasy, as dream. Your ghost sees little girls, excited to be beautiful, to be princess, to be you, not knowing. You are murdered by princesshood, by beauty, by the costume they're wearing. Sanitized version of torture device, of murder weapon, of systematic distraction. The Me Too movement discusses historical abuse, references medieval women, forced marriage, sexual violence, property status, doesn't mention poisoning, systematic poisoning, through beauty standards, through cosmetics, through performance requirements. Your ghost wants to testify, to add beauty as violence, fashion as murder, cosmetics as weapons, standards as systematic destruction, but can't speak, can only watch. Modern women fight different battles, same war, against systematic destruction. Through different mechanisms, your poisoning was just earlier version of ongoing destruction. Through beauty standards, through impossible requirements, through profitable suffering. The Castle's Instagram posts your portrait, medieval beauty goals, thousands like, comment fire emojis, heart eyes. Stunning, gorgeous, beauty. Don't know, you are dying, we're poisoned, we're murdered by beauty. They're praising your destruction, celebrating your suffering, aspiring to your torture. Your ghost reads comments from young girls, wanting your look, your skin, your aesthetic, wanting poisoning, without knowing, already poisoning themselves, differently, but still. The influence, the aspiration, the destruction, marketed as goals, your murder as aesthetic, your madness as beauty, your death as influence. The truth about beautiful medieval women wasn't madness, wasn't hysteria, wasn't weakness, was murder, systematic murder, through beauty standards, through isolation, through poisoning, literal poisoning, with lead, mercury, arsenic, psychological poisoning, through objectification, through commodification, through dehumanization. Your madness was sanity responding to insane system. Your death was murder, disguised as natural, as feminine weakness, as expected outcome. For beautiful women, too beautiful to survive, too poisoned to live, too valuable to be human. Your ghost exists as evidence, as testimony, as warning, unheeded warning, unheard testimony, invisible evidence of visible murder. If you could speak to living beautiful women, you'd say, run from beauty standards, from impossible requirements, from systematic poisoning, different forms, same destruction. You'd warn about accommodation, about negotiation, about slow poisoning. Instead of fast, you'd scream about patterns, historical patterns, continuing patterns, evolving patterns, but same results. Beautiful women destroyed by beauty, dying from standards, going mad from requirements. You'd beg. Revolution, not reform, not regulation, not accommodation. Revolution against beauty, as weapon, as poison, as murder. but you can't speak, can only watch. Pattern continue, evolution continue, destruction continue. The castle at midnight, when tourists gone, when empty, fills with ghosts, beautiful female ghosts, centuries of them all poisoned, all mad, all murdered by beauty. They dance, together, free finally, from performance, from standards, from poisoning. Death freed them, from beauty, from requirements, from systematic destruction. Your ghost leads, first wife, first poisoned, first mad, first dead, first ghost, teaching others, death choreography, freedom from beauty, through beautiful death, horrible freedom, but only freedom, available to beautiful women in medieval times, in all times, death or destruction. Those were options, still are options, just disguised better. The sun rises, tourists return, photos resume of beautiful castle, beautiful portraits, beautiful death site. Your ghost fades into walls, into stones, into structure, built on, beautiful female suffering, maintained by, beautiful female destruction, profitable through, beautiful female death. Your architecture now, foundation of system that killed you, supporting structure that destroyed you, your suffering, load-bearing, your madness, structural, your death, fundamental to building, still standing, still killing, still profitable. The castle is cemetery, disguised as monument, is murder site, marketed as tourist destination, is systematic destruction, celebrated as historical beauty. Your name means nothing to most. Footnote. In history, first wife of minor noble, who had 8 wives, all died, young, beautiful, mad. But your story means everything. Evidence of pattern, of system, of murder, disguised as beauty, as marriage, as natural, female weakness. Your poisoning proves systematic destruction. Your madness proves induced insanity. Your death proves murder, not tragedy, not weakness, not hysteria. Murder by lead, by isolation, by beauty standards, by everyone. Who participated? Who knew? Who profited? Who replaced you with another beautiful girl to poison, to drive mad, to kill, to replace? The ending never comes. Your ghost remains watching beautiful women destroy themselves for beauty. Different methods, same murder. You died in 1350, are still dying in 2024, will keep dying until system changes, until beauty stops being weapon, poison, requirement for female value. Your medieval death was beginning, not ending, of pattern that continues, evolves, adapts, but never stops, killing beautiful women with beauty itself. Your ghost witnesses, warns, waits for revolution that hasn't come, may never come, while beauty remains profitable, while female destruction remains systematic, while your story remains repeated in new forms forever.